Bitch!
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friend Cast. This is episode 297. It's a conversation with your best friends. We are your best friends.
I'm Nathan Von Edmondson.
Aaron Marie Betty Davis Jr.
And I'm DavidMonster.com.
Yay, welcome. If you are not already a member of our Patreon, please sign up and get all the cool merch. People are getting their David Monster face mugs and their laptop stickers and their totes. They're coming in now, so get in on the action, people. It's patreon.com/unimaginaryfriend.
If you don't get your merch, you're a total lesbian. Go ahead.
Yes. Sorry. Well, tonight is the second part of a two-part series. 2 weeks ago, when we last podcasted, live streamed, we talked about the problem of guns, and that was very soon after the Uvalde shooting in Texas, where 19 students, elementary school students, died in the classroom, which sparked another big outrage throughout the country. So we kind of laid out that problem, and we had so many great people that were in on that discussion, and I hope they're here tonight as well to help us. But tonight we're going to talk about the solutions, the actual solutions, some of the dumb ones, some of the good ones, what's actually on the table. And we're going to figure it out and just put it to bed once and for all. Right, guys?
Absolutely. And I would say if you're listening to and you have a solution, please write in and tell us what your solution is so we can make sure we cover all possible solutions.
Yes. Because it's not a one solution problem. I don't know if you knew that.
Are you sure?
No. I'm not. I'm going to learn tonight, I guess.
No.
David?
You guys don't have one solution. I have the ultimate solution, but go ahead.
That sounds dark.
Cool. It's just like take away guns, right? That's the solution?
No. Oh, no. I have a many part plan to solve it. And it would solve it.
That's exciting. Maybe we'll have an answer.
Okay. No, maybe. Tonight is the night,
will
people.
Have an answer.
Tonight is the night. But first.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, God. Oh, my God.
The guy from petting my cat. Right? What's his name? The bald guy.
I don't know his name. Dr. Evil?
I was not a fan of those
Dr.
movies.
Evil.
Dr. Evil.
I saw that movie.
All right, I'm going to give because I have 4 now to choose from. So listeners, we have listeners that are watching. So listen this time and vote on the news story you want to hear. Number 1, David Monster's going to heaven. Number 2, David Monster new release. Number 3, identity update. And number 4, Facebook jail.
Again? David.
I never got to report on it.
Oh, man. I feel like you're in Facebook jail every other week.
Yeah.
All right. Nathan, do you want to give your news?
I believe the last time we met, we were scheduled to go see the greatest movie of 2022.
Which movie was that?
And not yet seen it.
What movie is that?
Top Gun Maverick.
Aww.
Starring David's favorite celebrity actor, Tom Cruise.
Well, are you about to report on how it was?
It was actually, I just said it was the best movie of 2022.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
did.
he said.
So,
but wait,
I know
okay.
what you're talking about.
Do you have more of a review than that? Because I have questions.
fire away.
Aaron, how did you feel about the movie?
I thought that overall it was really fun and I enjoyed it. There were some really corny lines and moments. None of them really having to do with Tom Cruise, though. Also, the love scene was laugh out loud silly.
Wait, Tom Cruise had a love scene finally with a man, or
no?
It was laugh out loud. So it was with a woman. It was with a woman.
they like I don't know if I want to ruin it. But
I think it's past spoiler.
It's time. Like G-rated love scene. Not that I'm like trying to see anything crazy.
The movie's PG-13 and it was like a G.
No, like they like look longingly into each other's eyes and then they slowly fall on the bed, but then they just are still like looking into each other's eyes. I don't even think they kiss.
And then suddenly they're like in bed together, like just sitting next to each other talking. So like all the tongue action from the original Top Gun, where they're just like licking each other in slow motion in silhouette, that's no longer.
Where's the tongue, Tom?
Yeah, so much.
Yeah, he's at the point where he's like, I'm not tonguing any women. I'm not doing it.
He does.
Then they can't say anything. In the first in the first flop cruise, he had to do it but now he doesn't have to do it anymore.
Yeah. I don't want to get like. I feel like I get stuck on things being corny. I did like it.
Oh wow!
Cruise was a total dreamboat.
You could see his plastic surgery a bit more than I enjoyed, because I'd rather just people age normally.
I would rather they didn't. I think he got good. I think he got good plastic surgery, but the ridiculous thing about him is he keeps saying he didn't get it, and Scientologists keep saying he didn't get any, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
Now wait, Nathan, did you think there were any corny scenes in it?
Yeah, there were a few. There were a few scenes where I was like, I wish they would have rewritten that exchange a few times to make it a little bit better. There's I would almost call it like kind of like a cameo appearance by a popular character that I wish the dialogue was a little bit better.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that though, I felt like, and there was some nostalgia that was like just amped up so high. I feel like they could have backed off just a little bit and make it a little bit more realistic. But in general, I thought it was excellent. I think it's such an interesting film because it's a sequel made 36 years later, or released 36 years after the first one. So, you know, for me, I was watching this film when I was like 7 years old or 6 or 7 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it just has like so much personal nostalgia, you know, and it deals with a lot of like themes with, you know, fathers and, you know, there's someone, you know, it's just, there's just a lot of nostalgia that resonated for me for the film, like that way. So,
and they played the Top Gun song like over and over and over again. Which is a great, you know, it's a great song, but it's just, yeah.
Anyway, we have important topics to get to, and I feel like I've taken up so much time. You're not going to tell them what
you're doing directly after this podcast and why we have to end in exactly an hour?
Because I have to go watch it again.
He's going again to the theater.
And you're paying money to see it?
I told you I was going to pay double.
Did you get video of him trying to pay double at the theater?
No, because we got our tickets purchased in advance.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst. Well, we have a listener that writes, plastic surgery was very evident. So
I think people just look better when they just age. You know?
I do not. I disagree with you 847%.
Oh, well.
All right. It's your turn.
Well, my news is that... what is my news? There's so many things going on. There's so many things going on. That Boxes won an award at the Portland Comedy Film Festival.
Ooh.
Which award did it win?
It won the Director Award.
And who was the director? Nathan, were you the director?
I think not.
Listen, my name was on the certificate, but it was really a group effort. Come on, people.
Oh, that's nice of you.
The award is for all of us, even out you, all you listeners. We all won. We're all winners.
I think I might have demanded a co-directing credit in the credits.
You got it. Yep.
So there's no category for co-director.
Well, Aaron did win for Best Director, and we're all proud of you. You are such an inspiration to all white women everywhere. The downtrodden white women of the world applaud you.
Thank you, David. It feels so good.
You're welcome.
All right. Do you have any votes for yours?
No, nobody voted. Nobody cares. So you guys have to vote. David Monster's going to heaven. David Monster new release. Sorry, David Monster new release. Number 3, identity update. And number 4, David in Facebook jail.
Is it your identity update?
I have to read it. Yeah, I wouldn't pick that one if I were you. It's not that exciting.
Facebook jail.
Facebook jail. Facebook is so insane. I wrote, someone sent on one of the groups I'm in, they wrote, and I forgot what it was even about Christians doing something weird. Christians are now teaching the creationist in a lot of schools in Louisiana and stuff like that. And they're saying that there was some pastor who's also a teacher saying that there's zero evidence for evolution and there's so much evidence for creationism. And I just wrote, this is the comment that got me in Facebook jail. I wrote, wow, Christians love to be antagonistically ignorant. It's such it must be such a pleasure to go through life just disregarding things. That's what got me in Facebook jail.
That doesn't seem that bad to get into Facebook jail.
Right?
I feel like you've written way worse things on Facebook.
Oh, I've written way worse things, but I found out that you can write.
Reported you.
You can write people of da 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 da. Like if you write Christians or white or black or something like that, then you get in Facebook jail. It's just so stupid. Mark Zuckerberg is such a pathetic idiot. He really is fucking stupid. And he will be running our lives very soon. It's interesting that the two biggest social media, or the one of the biggest and one of the guys who wants to run Twitter, they're these insane. And I'm not saying that don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I'm not saying they're all insane, but they're in these. Forget it. I'm not going to say that. But they're these people who are not. That's all. Forget it.
You can say that Democrats are crazy too. Is that what you're going to say?
I wasn't going to say Democrats. I was going to say a certain disorder, but I'm not going to say that because that could be misconstrued as. But yeah, like I've read so many things that recently that Elon Musk has said, and the guy's insane, and so is fucking Mark Zuckerberg, and it's just that's all.
I saw a tweet of Elon Musk's recently where he was asking people what their favorite cheese was.
See, that sounds nice. That's one of the least insane things he's written.
What would your answer to that be?
Mozzarella on pizza. No, I don't know what my favorite cheese is. Cheese is one of those things where it's like there's so many good cheeses. How do you pick just one?
You gotta.
I love a sharp cheddar. What's everyone's favorite cheese? Let us know. Okay, we'll continue on.
Sharp Robusto Gouda.
Gouda Maruda. Hey.
Sharp Robusto Gouda.
Okay, you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Watch the screen.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, our gold star for the 297th episode goes to the Portland Comedy Film Festival. You'll never guess why. You'll never guess why.
Why, Aaron?
Because they gave us an award for our film.
Wow.
And what was the award, Aaron?
Surprise, surprise, best director.
And who was the best director?
All right, cut it out.
She was Erin Marie Betty Davis Jr.
It was a white woman. Yay, white women.
You're going to get into podcast jail if you call me.
But I said, yay, white women. I didn't say that white women are antagonistically entitled.
All right.
Yeah, we did have a shout out from Aunt Josie. Aunt Josie's with us tonight, everybody.
Shall we get into the main topic?
Sure.
I guess we shall.
Be like pretending to look over there, but if he's looking at notes, just want everyone to
He's gonna be pretending to look over there. Look over there! Look over there!
I just want everyone to admire my profile.
All right, what do you got?
Well, first I want to point out that it feels like all this gun stuff is just kind of taking a back seat in the news to the January 6th trial stuff.
Yeah, it has.
So all the January 6th committees, information about how Trump knew that there was no basis for his claims that the election was stolen, yet still lied about it for months and months and months and resulted in all this crazy stuff. So that seems to have like put this gun stuff a little bit to the back burner.
Yeah.
But last episode we said that we're going to have this continuation, and in these 2 weeks see if the government has made any strides in terms of legislation.
And
well, what would you think? Like, what was
Well,
your gut feeling?
I mean, I would normally think no, but I think something's going on.
Okay,
But
David?
I don't know. I don't know the details.
No, they're not doing nothing. They're gonna be doing nothing. The only if it would make our lives more difficult and if it would put more people at danger, it would go through like that. But if it's gonna make our life better, it's never gonna go through. What's
Okay.
the truth?
So I'm pulling this information from the Washington Post. The title of the article is "The Senate Votes to Advance Bipartisan Gun Deal, Breaking 30-Year Log Jam." Log jam's an underused word. So the Senate advanced a bill Tuesday night that would toughen federal gun laws and provide billions of dollars in new money to prevent future mass shootings after negotiations settled key disagreements, putting the legislation on course to be passed into law later this month. The breakthrough came more than a week after 20 senators, 10 from each party, signed on to a framework agreement that coupled modest new gun restrictions with some $15 billion in new federal funding for mental health programs and school security upgrades. So, David?
I was going to say, see, you forgot to mention all this, that it's going to cost us billions of dollars. Yes, I bet you all those senators got an iron in the fire and they passed along. And the Republicans are like, you know what? We can get in on gun control. We can make money off gun control. Fuck all's y'alls. Fuck all's y'alls. Go ahead.
So the breakthrough came, okay, it's Tuesday. They did a test vote where they had 64 to 34 in the Senate to pass this, which is they need 60 to pass it. So that's like the test vote. Looks good.
Okay.
There was key players on the right and left, but Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who normally is like boo, 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 no, no, no on gun control stuff, is backing the bill. But of course, the National Rifle Association is opposing it.
What does it do?
So here's what it doesn't do. It doesn't limit magazine capacities. It doesn't put in a new assault rifle ban. It does. So that there were some sticking points. One was, so what it does is one thing it does is if you have committed domestic violence against, say, a partner or, of some sort, whatever that category is for you, you wouldn't be allowed to buy a gun. But then it was called the boyfriend loophole, because it was like, well, if I've, attacked someone, like maybe there was false accusation, or what does that mean? So there was a lot of back and forth with this. Like, what does domestic violence look like? How do we categorize it? So they kind of came to a point where it's like, if they are still in a relationship with the person if they're still in a relationship with someone that they've attacked, they can't get a gun, or if they're still, seeing them in some manner. But if it's been a number of years and it's passed a certain amount of time and they haven't done any other assaults, then they could maybe get a gun. But then there's like, how do you track all this stuff? How do you like determine what is in a relationship with someone? It gets into the weeds of how do you like actually do this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but they kind of reached an agreement, I guess, with that.
But let me ask you this, because this is the most important part of the law. So 18-year-olds with serious mental disorders, they can still get guns, right?
So what's interesting is, I didn't realize this, but 18 to 21, you can't buy a handgun.
But hopefully they can still buy automatic weapons, though, right?
Well, you can buy rifles and shotguns, and
thank God.
AR-15s are considered rifles.
Thank God, because I don't want to take away their rights.
Good. So after they kind of were like, we're going to be able to do this, we got this test vote. The Republican lead who's on this, his name's Cornyn. He went back to the Republican Party of Texas's annual convention and got booed. But there is like hope that this will go through, because the 10 Republicans who've signed on to this, 4 are not seeking re-election and 5 others are not up for re-election until 2026. So that's good news, in that they won't have some of them just won't have any political backlash. Other ones, it's like pushed so far in the future that by then probably, I imagine, people would forget, or who knows. So when it comes, another sticking point was like the Democrats were trying to put in like these grants, federal grants to encourage states to pass red flag laws, but certain states don't want to do that, obviously, because it's infringing on people's rights. And so then they came to a compromise that you can get these federal grants if you are including, certain intervention programs aside from red flag laws. So at least they're trying to do something. Maybe it isn't the red flag law. And then the third major gun provision concerned how background checks are handled for the under 21 group. So in the agreement, there's to require a search for juvenile justice and mental health records for the youngest gun buyers for the first time. But then again, it gets into the weeds of like different state systems have different standards for searching and maintaining juvenile records. So they've been trying to like figure out whether the mechanics of actually how do you figure that stuff out. But there would be an enhanced search window for gun buyers under 21 to allow local authorities to scour confidential databases. So there would be a longer review for those aged 18 to 21.
But only for that. I mean,
yeah, because when you're 21, you're incapable of doing stupid things.
Well,
that's true.
A lot of these like school shooting stuff have been in the 18 range, I think, like pretty young.
But this brings up a good point though, because there's two things I forgot to mention at the top of the program. This brings up the first one. It is interesting because there was the shooting in Buffalo where a guy just wanted to shoot black people. Yeah. And it's really sad that just kind of like was mentioned and then swept under the rug. I understand why people are horrified with the Uvalde thing because it's kids, but it's just it's not it's horrifying also that they shot all these black people and it was just dismissed.
That was huge news. But I don't feel like that was swept under the rug. I mean,
it kind of came and went, not swept under the rug, but it came and went. Uvalde just keeps going, going and going.
So soon after. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I heard a lot about that.
But that guy was not under 21, right?
I'm not sure how old that guy was. And then he
was an older guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think the guy who has now the record, he was in his like 50s or 60s or something. The guy in Vegas.
Yeah.
Whatever the record.
And one more. Let me interrupt. The thing that is so disturbing about that is kids 18 to 21 probably won't have much of a mental disorder record, but these people that are the 60-year-old in Las Vegas, he will have it somewhere, but he'll just fly it under the radar. Don't make no damn sense.
I think he also had guns for like his entire life, so it's not like,
Yeah.
So other provisions include new federal gun trafficking offenses and a broader definition of which gun sellers are required to register for a federal firearms license. That would require them to conduct background checks. The fact that there are certain places where you can buy guns and they're not required to do federal background checks, that just seems ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I think like these, I forget what they're called, like the fair, I don't want to say gun fairs or like road shows where people can like trade guns and somehow it's like they bypass that stuff. That's
gun shows. Yeah, gun shows.
That's just bullshit, I think. Like that needs to change.
Sorry, let me weigh in on this because my father organized gun shows.
Really?
Yes, and he was an NRA, and that's one of their biggest arguments. Is like, you can't take away our gun shows, and it's un-American to make us not be able to because they didn't want to make the sale and then have to do a background check and then deliver the goods. Like, we want to make the sale and deliver the goods, right? Like, cash on the barrel, like. And it was a huge thing. It's like, if you do that, like everybody will be registered and then everybody will know who has the guns. Right. And it was a huge thing. And that was the argument. And it's just like, you can't take it away from us. So.
Other elements of the framework include creating a broader network of community behavioral health centers, more federal support for in-school intervention programs, broader access to telehealth services for those in a mental health crisis, and new funding for school security programs. That's probably where you see a lot of people lining their pockets, right, David?
Yeah.
All the programs, really. Like, that's where, like...
Yeah, who's going to have oversight to make sure those programs are useful and the money's going towards them. And
we saw a terrible report on like the amount of fraud that was involved in
the COVID money.
Yeah, like it was just ridiculous.
Oh,
no, go ahead,
that's what I was gonna say. It's this problem with guns is like most of our problems. It's not. You can't just solve it dealing with guns. Like there are so many things you have to deal with to solve this issue. Like our system is rotten and it's so far reaching. We have so much work to do just to solve each part of the problem. It can't just be solved with legislation on guns and that's it. There needs to be so many other things in place.
Do you want to hear some of the really great solutions that some Republicans have given?
Yes,
I do. Go.
Well, we all know arming teachers.
Yeah, armed teachers.
But there's a story that was like a couple days after Trump put out a proposal to arm teachers. Like an armed teacher accidentally unloaded their gun, like shot their gun in the classroom, and it ricocheted and like hit a kid in the neck.
Oh God!
Are you serial? Wow.
Buckets of rocks was one.
What?
Where it's like a last resort, like you at least have something to like pick up and throw.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so it's like actually it was a Pennsylvania school district, a rural Pennsylvania school district gave 200 classrooms buckets of rocks. So it was like a last line defense.
God.
Yeah.
Is it like the David and Goliath thing? Like, do they give them the slingshot to?
I guess if enough people throw a rock, I don't know. I still don't think that would do anything against an AR-15. A clear backpacks is one.
But that's not the kid. It's not the kids in school. It's kids just walking. It's other kids from outside school that just walk right in with the guns already on them.
Sometimes it's funny, and there's funny pictures of like kids holding up backpacks like full of tampons and stuff. That like clear backpacks.
Oh, how funny!
Bulletproof backpacks was one of them.
Mm.
Like teaching, like doing like a big CPR program, so all kids have to learn CPR just in case you have to do CPR on your fellow classmate that just got shot, or like.
But I mean,
like turning schools into fortresses, like all the different ways to like seal doors and security systems, and so those are like the things you hear over and over and over again.
Well, I do think because there's more, like you're safer if you go to a football arena and watch a football game than you are your kids going to school. Like it's much harder. It's much harder to get into an arena and to get anything bad into there than it is in school. You can just walk into any school in America. Just walk right in.
Well, I don't understand. So it's like funny because all these examples are from Pennsylvania schools. So there was another initiative. It was just in Erie where the school district gave every teacher a baseball bat.
Wow.
Just in case they needed to use it, which is like better than nothing. But like, what the hell is that going to do against someone with an automatic weapon?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
I guess you could swing and hit the bullets away.
It's like bulletproof backpacks, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, is that what this world has come to?
Apparently. So this is what Biden called for. So Biden he was calling for renewing the federal assault weapons ban that expired in 2004, significantly expanding federal background checks for gun buyers, and removing the firearms industry's immunity from lawsuits. So,
100%.
Of course, none of that's going to pass or be included.
And also, the thing is like that would be great if that went away, but also there'll be like just a landslide of frivolous lawsuits too. Oh God.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, even with like the boyfriend law, like the domestic assault thing, like there's so many people, like there's a certain percentage. There's some people, one of whom I know specifically, have been falsely accused of that. So then there's like, what about the guy whose girlfriend is just pissed off and wants to like screw his life over and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be that.
Totally.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say nothing these people have brought up helps kids in a school.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think one thing is just doing some research on this. One thing that is apparent that isn't clear, because we always hear about these school shootings, and it's because it's kids, right? And it's, it's so terrible that it ends up being the biggest news story in terms of gun violence, even though it's such a small percentage of gun violence in the United States. And the likelihood of your child being in a school where there's a school shooting is very minuscule. Like there's a 1 in 107 chance that you're going to die in a car crash in your life. There is a 1 in 2.75 million chance of being in a school shooting, roughly.
Oh,
Being killed in a school shooting, roughly.
wow.
So, and this is, the data has probably changed a little bit since this article where I'm pulling this information from. This was written in this was written right after the Newtown shooting. And, 20 kids were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary, but there were 55 million kids in school that day. So that's just, our perception is a little skewed.
Yeah.
Not to say that it doesn't make it less terrible in any way.
Yeah.
But also, when it comes to the weapons, like the vast majority of murders with guns take place or with handguns. So there's this huge view on the assault rifles or the AR-15 because it's such a popular gun. But so according to the FBI's research, 47% of murders in the US are committed with handguns. 3% are committed with rifles. So, and bare hands is 6%. Someone killing someone with their bare hands is like double what handgun or what rifles are used for. And 13% of murders are with knives. So it's like when we put those numbers out there, it's kind of, I don't know, does it change it for anyone?
Doesn't for me.
Doesn't?
No.
Well,
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Why doesn't it just doesn't make it feel less bad to know that a certain amount of years ago there weren't school shootings and now they're every week.
Wait, there have always been school shootings.
Well, to this
but yeah, it's definitely getting more. Yeah.
I did see some research that showed that when the assault weapons ban did go into effect, I think it was Clinton that put it into effect in the 90s, that mass shootings did go down. And they did pop after the ban. So
yeah, I don't think there's any need in this world for automatic or semi-automatic weapons. I don't think anybody needs one ever.
And it is true. It's like that your child is not in danger of someone doing a mass fisting, like to go in. Someone's not going to go to school and kill a bunch of kids. They might kill 1 or 2 with their bare hands before they get stopped. But they can kill everyone like they literally can kill everyone in the school with an AR-15 if they have the right.
Yeah.
That
was one thing a former guest of ours actually just pointed out. They went to a shooting range in Vegas to shoot some, rare guns just as like on a whim, and shot an automatic weapon, and was just like, he went away from that experience horrified that it's that easy to shoot that many bullets in a row.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous amount of power, which is, we're not technically allowed to have automatic weapons at all. So, but even semi-automatic is virtually automatic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I get those guns being available is only part of the problem, though. It's like we have really, really unhappy youth that are depressed and anxious and don't have support. I don't know. It seems like a lot more than in the past.
Well, not only that, it's crazy. Not only unhappy youth, it's crazy old people who are still out of control, racists for whatever reason. It's craziness. It's insanity.
It's funny because like some people are like, just get rid of all the guns, like get rid of the guns. But then other people are like, it's mental health. We need to solve the mental health crisis. And I guess it's kind of both, right? It should be harder to get a gun.
Yeah.
And we need
more
to
do both,
because like,
and no semi-automatic weapons. Let's just take them off the table. That's my vote.
And it is, and I know we keep going back to this, but in religious countries, the violence is much higher than in violent crimes are much higher than in non-religious. Like if you go to Finland or Iceland, their numbers are so much lower. It's shocking.
Well, there's only like 300,000 people in Iceland.
No, totally. But it's also that in this country, the people fighting, like, it's a religious argument too, because it's the religious right who are arguing for no gun control, and they want to do whatever they want it unrestricted. So there's no reasoning with religious people. There's no reasoning with devout Christians or Muslims or Jews or what have you. And you're not going to be able to have a society that can agree on anything with religion present, unless it's the religion, unless you agree with the religion.
David, why does it say lying whore at the bottom of the screen?
Oh, I think when he was talking about Biden or something, I don't know.
Maybe it's just for me.
It's very aggressive. Okay.
So I think.
So we'll give Nathan this one. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So this, again, some of this information is from the early 2012, 2013. So saying that since 1982, 70 mass shootings had taken place where there were 543 dead. So in that 40-year period, 30-year period. But there had been 564,000 homicides during that same time period. So the mass shooting numbers, and they have been increasing, there are more mass shootings, but they're just in relation to the amount of homicides that take place, it's like such a small percentage. It's 0.1% of all murders for mass shootings. So the gun, like murders and also gun violence, is like a different. So 30% of urban households have at least one firearm. The figure increases to 42% in suburbs and 60% in the countryside.
In the country, you've got our guns.
Yeah, but as you move away from the cities, the rate of gun ownership doubles, and yet gun violence is primarily a problem in cities, right? So
100.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of it's not in the country. Although I feel like, again, it's like these mass shootings or these school shootings are kind of happening everywhere.
Yeah.
There.
But gun violence. See, like when you talk about handguns and you talk about homicides, like you're talking about, it's also a problem with the prisons and the criminalization of chunks of society and stuff like that. So we have to deal with the prisons, and our prisons are still for profit. That is the most insane thing you can do in a society. Our prisons are for profit. So when you make anything for profit, it will increase. It's a system that has to feed itself.
Yeah.
So it's the stupidest thing in the entire world.
Healthcare, education, and prisons being for profit in this country is mind-boggling to me.
It's so stupid.
So much money there, though.
It's so corrupt.
It's so corrupt and so stupid.
Prisons.
Education.
And education. Yeah, you're right. So we're doomed. Doomed.
So what's interesting, though, is if you look at statistics around the world, even, but in the United States, violent crime has fallen by dramatic percentage points in recent decades. So when I found this research, so it was probably talking in the last decade, which would be like, say, 2002 to 2012. Violent crime had fallen by 22%. So like, even though in the United States, and then around the world, it's even more how much violent crime is going down. But I think that there's been research recently that we have had like an uptick in violent crime.
Yeah, since the pandemic.
Yeah, since the pandemic. And so, but it is nowhere near the levels that it was in the past. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I covered most of what I wanted to cover.
So solutions. What's the solutions?
I have the ultimate solution. Go ahead. What? Go ahead, Aaron.
I can just rattle through my own opinions, but give me your info, David.
Well, I have on a website. Buying a gun should be more like buying a car, which I agree with. It shouldn't. It should. Yeah. Number two, pass gun laws that actually reduce gun violence. And I think it's the same with the economy. They don't do any research. They just throw these ideas out there that their constituents like, and they try it out. And so, yeah, we need research done. We can't just go with a solution, bam, 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 just do that and throw billions of dollars at it. We need research done and then go with a course of action that is found. There's evidence supporting it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
And number 3, I don't know.
I feel like we're living in a world where evidence is subjective and nobody trusts any information anymore, depending on who the source is and who's telling you, who's funding it. Like, there's just a lot of distrust. I know I have it. I hear someone says anything and I'm like, really? I need to hear at least 10 sources to like really validate anything anymore.
But everything's so politicized.
Everything's so politicized. It's so hard. It's so hard to find out what's true now. It's like, that's why I feel like the evidence argument, it's like it's sound, but so difficult right now.
That's why our government is doomed, because they vote on and they fight against things that they know have evidence behind it, because it doesn't answer their constituents. It doesn't answer the
fighting against the internet, which is a dark hole of absolute garbage.
Yeah. No, totally. No, but even when there's a study done and it's seen that there's evidence, like the other side will fight against it because they'll be like, that doesn't suit our constituents. It's just our system is so ridiculous. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked for a while. All it does is make everything cost more and everybody have more stress. That's all it's done as in my lifetime. That's the only thing that has come from the government. And my own solution is the ultimate solution that will work. But what is your solution, Aaron?
Oh no, I want to finish your
you can give us the ultimate solution, David.
All right, the ultimate solution is we need to line up everyone in the world, and I need to just slap every single person across the face. Just slap them full force. And I'm talking old people, babies, everybody. But we need to start it now, because you know how long it'll take me to slap 1 billion people?
No. You mean like 8 billion people?
Well, no, just 1 billion people. How long will it think it'll take me?
34 billion seconds.
And how long is that, though?
A long time.
Just to slap 1 billion people, it'll take me 31 years. So we got to start lining them up. And I'll have to slap 2 and 3 people at a time.
Well, you have 2 hands, so you can double that.
That's true.
That's true. And I'm slapping Biden. I'm slapping Trump. I'm slapping Kamala Harris. I'm slapping...
Not slapping Cora. Cora doesn't get slapped.
You mean Velveteen?
Oh, all right. If you're under the age of 8, you don't get slapped. No, under the age of 6, you don't get slapped.
Yeah, right. You could probably do 4.
Yeah.
Pretty messed up after that.
I'm slapping Nancy Pelosi. I am 3 times I get to slap MTG. What's her name? What's her name? Yeah. I get to slap her no less than 3 times. Bitch slap. All right.
I think that is the solution. I think you solved it.
I think you did solve it. I'll throw out some crappy solutions that are nowhere near as good as that. I like the making it like buying a car. Buying a gun is like buying a car. I like when I learned to drive a forklift for Kmart, I had to watch 2-hour-long videos or something of like people being physically maimed and dying from forklift injuries before they would license me to drive a forklift. But you can just go buy a gun, something that is way more dangerous. So I would even extend it to like, it should be like getting your pilot's license. Like it should be very rigorous and difficult to get it. And there are arguments like, what about people who don't have the time or money to put in the effort, who actually need guns for self-defense or something? Like we can make exceptions, or figure that out. But it should be way more difficult to like get.
Yeah. But the gun owners lobby, the biggest thing against that is they don't want guns registered. They don't want guns traceable. So we have to fight against that. And there is an argument there. Oh, and I need special slapping gloves, because there's some people like Mitch McConnell. I'm going to want to wear a glove when I slap him. and I get to slap him 3 times. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, I want to feel that skin on skin. I just want to feel it. But yeah, like I don't know how we deal with the registration issue.
The 2 other points are like based on jokes that I think are very good. Chris Rock has the joke where a bullet should cost $2,000 because then you're like, do I really want to shoot someone because it's gonna cost?
I'm seconding that.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And then Dane Cook had a really good joke that I wish I could remember all of it. He was basically like, he's like, be nice to the weirdo guy at work, you know, because if he comes back shooting, like he'll like come up to your door and be like, oh, thanks for the Snickers, and then just keep going and like let you live.
Yeah, I mean, kindness is certainly in this equation somewhere. Like, learn how to be more kind to people, but we are in the age of social media and the internet, and that's not going to go away. And it's going to continue to alienate people and make people feel bad, feel depressed, and feel anxious. So I think that is just here to stay, and I don't know if there's any way to solve that aside from just better educating people, having more support, trying to focus more on like building community. And even if someone's, you know, got a rough family life and like not supportive parents or no parents, like you still have like some central community support and people are looking out for each other. I think that's the only way to really keep tabs on where people are and if there's any red flags, because kids they fall through the cracks, and some teachers care, but some teachers don't care and don't report anything or don't see or just aren't aware or observant.
Oh no, when I was in junior high school, I had teachers see things and then just turn away. I saw them turn away. They don't give a shit.
They don't get paid enough. Teachers don't get paid enough to deal with a lot of.
But we should give them guns and they should protect us, right?
I do think at this point, unfortunately, we do need to. I'm not trying to make schools fortresses, but we do need to increase the safety of schools, and however that looks, whether it's like having a police officer at every single school, or like I'm not totally against having like your desk turns into a bulletproof shield or something, you know. It's like we're at that point until we can really put a stop to school shootings. They're going to keep happening because the guns are out there already. Even if we put in gun control measures tomorrow and it's harder to get guns, people still have them, and it's going to be years and years and decades before that it actually feels like the right people have guns, if we ever even get there.
One suggestion that seems counterintuitive when it comes to schools, and one thing that is true, is if someone's trying to shoot you, if you're a certain distance away from them, the best thing you can do is run away, because it's actually hard to shoot a moving target.
Not with a machine gun.
Maybe not with a machine gun, but in general.
Serpentine.
If you're in a movie, you never get hit by the machine gun.
It's called plot armor. But,
no, you know what you do is you immediately invoke the force, but the good force. But if you want to get hit, put on that white the white armor that the stormtroopers wear.
Oh my god!
Because even if you get hit with a rock, that'll kill you if you're wearing that armor. You just get hit with a rock, bam, you're down, you're out.
That was the biggest observation I had with Star Wars. I'm like, why is it so easy to kill those guys?
Because there's millions of them. So the suggestion is that kids shouldn't lock down, but that they should actually flee, like run away. Like
it's hard though. It's confusing when you hear a gunshot and you don't know where it's coming from and you don't want to run towards it. So I think that's kind of a hard rule to have. That run where, like what's happening. Right. So we have our suggestion. This was actually suggested last week. Is that no matter what age, you need a cosigner if you're going to buy a gun, and that cosigner will be held accountable if the purchaser does something stupid with it. I actually think this is a great idea as well.
I think you would have people who are absolutely willing to co-sign for people, and then you would have a lot of people who just absolutely would not ever do it.
Well, and that's great because maybe that person shouldn't have a gun. But then I would imagine if you have no one in your life that can co-sign, you really want a gun, then there's extra steps for you. You know, I don't know what they would be, but I vote for that.
I ain't co-signing for nobody. Hell no.
Mm-mm.
Cora asked me for a gun. I'll take her to get her gun. But not you guys.
I think when you get like a license to carry a concealed weapon, you have to get references. But that's different than just buying a gun.
Which is ridiculous because those people are doing it for a reason. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing is so ridiculous because, anyways, forget it.
I don't know. And if you aren't, even if like you have an armed security person, I don't know if you've ever worked with private security teams or people. There's just regular people, and they're not like the brave, like SEAL Team 6 characters you're imagining that are gonna like run towards the danger. A lot of times they're just people that are trying to get a paycheck, and so I
think Uvalde proved this too.
Yes, for sure.
You have police officers who just, whether it was just a lack of coordination or just like, it just seemed like the man who was in charge did everything wrong. Like instead of storming the room and trying to stop the guy, there were all these things that he was waiting to happen first. And it, you know, so that whole idea of like, it's so rare that I think there's
like
been
the hero.
Yeah, there's been like one instance, or there's some instances, but they're very few of like the guy who actually killed the shooter before he hurt anyone. Or
good guy with the gun argument kind of stops there. I feel like there's very few people that would run towards a shooter.
You know what? If you're gonna arm the teachers, why not arm the kids too? Because
I don't want the like. We're also putting a lot of trust in teachers, and there's like teachers are also people collecting a paycheck and are
they don't give a shit. But if you walk into a school with a whole bunch of 6-year-olds with guns, you're gonna get hit. They're gonna take you out. Okay, they're gonna take each other out too, but they're gonna take you out for sure.
Yeah.
And the principal, and the lunch ladies.
Any other solutions? I think we solved it. David just said a bitch slap everyone.
Ultimately, I think David's solution is what's going to be most effective.
Yeah.
But and what I'll do is I'm going to start in the government. I'm going to slap every single person in the Senate 3 times.
You're tripling the length this is going to take if you're going to slap everyone 3 times.
Yeah, we're looking at 93 years already.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, the people in the Senate, there's like 100 people or 400 people. And then Joe Biden's getting slapped. And I get to slap like all the presidents that are still alive. I'm going to slap all of them a few times. And the NRA, just line them up, slap them. Anyone who's Republican or anyone who's Christian, they're going to get slapped really hard. The state of Israel, I'm just going to go and slap everybody. Fucking all the Arab countries, they're getting slapped hard.
Christians like to like poo-poo on Buddhists, but I think it's like one of the tenets of, and I feel like this might just be to be a monk more than like, but I think it's just like a common thing for practitioners is like, you shouldn't make your living from selling like weapons of war or selling intoxicants or like gambling.
Plus, in Buddhism, it's a non-violent tradition. Right?
Yeah. So
well, it's supposed to be, but there have been. There are. But don't get it twisted. I'm going to slap Buddhists too. But go ahead.
No, of course.
Yeah, of course. Nathan. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I'm not going to slap them as hard as the Abrahamic religions. All the Abrahamic religions are going to slap really hard. Anybody wearing a cross. White people.
What do you have against white people? I bet you got banned from Facebook for things you said about white people.
One time, wait, we only have a few minutes, but the first time I got banned on Facebook, Amy Sedaris put a video of this white guy who was trying to get up on his roof to fix something, and he put 3 ladders on top of each other. And he started climbing, and he actually got to the 3rd ladder before he fell, and it looked gnarly. And this is what I wrote. I said, "Why is white trash so funny when they're not in your own family?" Banned for that. You guys are white trash. Don't you think that's funny?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is what Cora does now.
Is that when she's mad?
Sticking out your bottom lip?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have podcast listeners that can't see me.
They're missing out.
Yep. Big time.
All right.
Well, I think that once we slap everyone, that should fix everything. So we'll get on that. We'll start that right now, actually. So we'll have to sign off. So first, Nathan has to go watch Top Gun 2 again, priorities, and then we can start slapping people.
Hey.
you guys, they wouldn't let him pay twice at the theater, so he has to go again just to make sure that Tom Cruise gets that extra.
Do you think actually if everyone in the world just saw Top Cruise or
Top Cruise,
Top Gun Maverick, if the gun violence issue would be solved?
I think that I would want to shoot someone more than ever if I had to see Top Gun. We have a shout out for Cora.
yeah,
She's a national treasure.
she is.
She's a Nash trash.
All right. Well, I think that was great. We have some next in 2 weeks. It's going to be episode 298, which means we're approaching 300. We have a ton of really exciting stuff planned, which does involve a cross-country trek for one of us. So we're all together for a certain period of time.
Who?
Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook because we're going to be blowing that up with all kinds of 300th special content. So
yeah.
Oh, and we are in another festival coming up in April, and we are nominated for Best Comedy Film. So
Ooh, where's that one?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
I feel like we're gonna win. I have to say that someone told me that they tuned in last week and they said, "Oh, I had to tune out because it was just too heavy. I had a hard week." But I think this week we managed to make gun violence more fun.
Yeah, that was the goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, let's do a comedy episode soon.
Next time, our next 3 are going to be funny, guys. Real funny. Okay, so get ready for your bitch slap, bitch.
The Unimaginary Friend Cast.
Don't be a bitch. Bitch.